Ricotta pie with pineapples.
Oh, wow.
She brought a ricotta pie. That's how it started. A ricotta pie, a high school transcript, and a smile sweet enough to rot your teeth. But by the time Carmela Soprano walked out of that lawyer's office, a stranger's kid had been blacklisted.
Trapped me and asked me if I'd ask you to write her daughter a letter of recommendation to Georgetown.
A respected attorney was shaking in her own home, and one of television's most sympathetic wives had quietly revealed what she really was. Not a victim, not a bystander, a gangster, just without the gun. For a long time, Carmela Soprano was the show's moral escape hatch. Tony was the monster we couldn't stop watching. Christopher was the disaster waiting to happen. Polly was the punchline with a body count. But Carmela was supposed to be different. She went to church. She worried about her kids. She cried to priests about her husband's sins. She was the character you could point to and say, see, she's not like them. She's trapped. She's complicit, sure, but she's trying. That was the trick. Because The Sopranos is a show about self-deception. Tony lies to Dr. Melfi. Christopher lies to himself about his dreams. Silvio lies about the Bing. And Carmela tells herself the biggest lie of all, that the mansion, the jewelry, the Porsche, the private school tuition, that none of it has blood on it, that she is somehow separate from the machine that built her life. For most of season 1, the show lets you believe her. Edie Falco plays Carmela with this incredible softness. A flinch here, a look away there. You watch her and you think, this woman is suffocating. And then comes season 2, episode 8, Full Leather Jacket. And suddenly you realize you've been watching the wrong person this whole time. Because Tony isn't the only soprano in that house who knows how to get what they want.
Georgetown Law Review, Regional Secretary of the Georgetown Alumni Association of Short Hill.
Here's the setup. Meadow wants Georgetown. The Cusimano family lives next door. Normal, professional, successful. Jeannie Cusimano's sister Joan is a lawyer, a tough one, the toughest in Essex County apparently. And Joan has already written a letter of recommendation for another student. Meadow needs one too. So Carmela bakes a pie. She shows up at Joan's office unannounced. She doesn't yell, she doesn't curse, she doesn't throw anything. She sits down, places the ricotta pie on the desk like it's a loaded pistol, and she asks, sweetly, for Joan to write the letter. Joan says no. She's already written one. She can't write another.
I said I want you to write the letter.
Are you threatening me?
What threatening? I brought you a ricotta pie and a high school transcript.
And that's when the mask slips. Carmela doesn't raise her voice. She just stops smiling. She leans forward. She says she understands. And then she says it again and again, and with every repetition, the room gets colder. Joan's face changes. You can see it happen in real time. She's a lawyer. She's fought tougher people than this in court, but she has never sat across from something like Carmela Soprano, who is asking for a favor in a tone that makes it very clear this is not a request. Watch that scene again. Watch what Edie Falco does with her eyes. There is no threat. That's the whole point. Because when your last name is Soprano, you don't need to make threats. The threat is in the room with you. The threat is parked outside. The threat is in the pie.
My sister said the ricotta pie was delicious. She sat right down and wrote a terrific letter to Georgetown.
Joan writes the letter. Here's where it gets interesting. Once you see that scene for what it is, you can't unsee it anywhere else in the show. Carmela doesn't just do this once. She does it constantly. And the show has been showing you the whole time. You just weren't looking.
But she's gone.
Where? Holy shit.
Remember when Richie April disappears? Tony tells her, Richie's gone. And Carmela's first question isn't what happened. It isn't, oh my God. It's where. Where is he? It takes Tony literally saying, don't make me make you an accessory after the fact, for her to stop asking.
After Meadows' graduation, me and Rosalie April are going to Rome.
And then, holy shit, she moves on. Paris. She wants to go to Paris. A man has just been murdered and dismembered in her social circle, and her mind jumps to vacation.
Who stole, Tony? Who, me?
My own wife, 40 grand, from the bird feeder.
Remember the bird feeder? The scene where she casually pockets cash her husband is hidden like it's her allowance? That's not a housewife. That's a partner.
Look at Angie Bonpensiero, that fucking Cheryl since Pussy disappeared.
Remember how she treats Angie Bonpensiero after Pussy disappears? Angie is grieving. Angie is broke.
Is that a Porsche?
Had my eye on it for months. The gift from Tony.
And Carmela shows up to flash her new Porsche like a weapon.
With my hours at the body shop?
When Angie starts succeeding on her own, running her own business, Carmela can't stand it.
Her dog is sick.
She tattles to Tony about a sick dog just to make Angie's life harder. That's not jealousy. That's cruelty. Remember when she summons Charmaine Bucco across a party with a flick of her fingers, like she's calling a waitress? Remember when she stands at the passenger door of Rosalie April's car, waiting for her so-called best friend to come around and open it for her, like a chauffeur? Carmela doesn't just tolerate the life, she loves the life.
So how come Angie Bump and Sarah don't come?
Please.
She loves the power it gives her over other women. She loves being feared. She just needed a nice Catholic vocabulary to pretend she didn't. But here's the part that really lands the blade.
There's money in overseas accounts.
I don't have the serial numbers.
You'll have them when the time comes.
Carmela Soprano knows. She has always known. She isn't Livia, lost in manipulation. She isn't Janice, chasing angles. Carmela grew up in this world. She understands exactly what her husband does for a living. She understands where every dollar in her kitchen came from. And in a quiet moment, deep into the show, she goes to see a Jewish psychiatrist who refuses to play her game. He tells her the truth nobody else will.
You must trust your initial impulse and consider leaving him.
He tells her she's living off blood money. He tells her to take the children and leave. He tells her she cannot be absolved because absolution requires you to stop doing the thing you're confessing.
I would have to get a lawyer, find an apartment.
And what does Carmela do? She goes home. She stays. She takes the house. She takes the jewelry. She takes the spec house later, the one Tony builds her as a bribe.
To track her down.
And the moment that deal closes, she conveniently stops asking questions about Adriana, who has just vanished off the face of the earth. A young woman she supposedly loved, gone. And Carmela doesn't push.
That spec house was my investment.
Because pushing would cost her the kitchen island. That is the moment. That is the real moment. Not the pie, not the Porsche, not the finger snap. The moment Carmela Soprano becomes unforgivable is the moment she is told, explicitly, by a man with nothing to gain from the truth, that her life is built on a corpse, and she decides the corpse is worth it. So let's say what The Sopranos spent 6 seasons daring us to say out loud. Carmela Soprano is not a woman trapped in a bad marriage. She is a woman who married into power and learned to wield it. She is not Tony's conscience. She is his mirror.
Carmela!
Jenny, hi. I tried calling, but I kept getting the machine.
Every time he takes, she spends. Every time he hurts someone, she looks away. Every time he kills, she prays. And then she goes shopping. The only real difference between Tony Soprano and Carmela Soprano is that one of them uses his hands and the other one uses a ricotta pie. That's the genius of what Edie Falco did with this character. Gandolfini got the fireworks. Gandolfini got the Emmys and the headlines and the standing ovations. And he earned every one. But watch Falco in the quiet moments. Watch her in that lawyer's office. Watch her at Ginny Sacrimoni's house. Watch her at the psychiatrist. She is doing something almost nobody else on television has ever done. She is playing a woman who is lying to herself in real time and letting you see both the lie and the truth underneath, in the same breath, in the same look. Carmela Soprano is the most formidable character on that entire show, and we spent years feeling sorry for her. The Sopranos doesn't have heroes. It has survivors. And the ones who survive longest are the ones who learn to smile the widest while holding the knife. Carmela outlived almost all of them. Now I want to hear from you. What was your moment with Carmela? The scene where she stopped being the woman you felt sorry for and became something else entirely. Was it the pie? The bird feeder? The Porsche? The psychiatrist? Drop it in the comments. The exact episode, the exact line, and let's build the definitive list together. And if you want to go deeper on the Soprano women nobody wants to talk about honestly, Rosalie is next. You're gonna want to be around for that one.